Have you ever wondered if what you're feeling is real, true love, or if it's something else entirely? Maybe it's just a deep attachment. We all deal with this question at some point, and honestly, it can be super confusing, right? Love and attachment feel so similar on the surface, but underneath, they are worlds apart. One builds you up, while the other can slowly drain you. So today, we're going to dive deep into this topic. We'll explore the key differences between love and attachment, helping you gain clarity on your own relationships, past or present. By the end of this video, you'll have a much clearer understanding of what you're experiencing and what you truly deserve. Alright, so let's kick things off by breaking down what we mean here. What is love really? True love is about wanting the best for the other person, even if it doesn't directly benefit you. It's selfless. It's about connection, respect, and seeing someone for who they truly are, flaws and all, and cherishing them. Love promotes growth, both for you as an individual and for your partner. It's a force that expands your world. Now, what about attachment? Attachment is often rooted in a need. It might be a need for security, a fear of being alone, or a desire to have your own emotional gaps filled by someone else. Attachment is more about what the other person can do for you and how they make you feel. It's focused on possession and control, and it can actually limit your growth because it's driven by fear. So, how can we spot the difference in our daily lives? Let's look at the first major sign: freedom versus control. In a loving relationship, there's a deep sense of trust. You both encourage each other to have your own lives, your own friends, your own hobbies. You don't feel the need to check their phone or question where they are every second. You want them to grow and explore their passions because their happiness brings you joy. In an attachment-based relationship, control is a central theme. It might manifest as jealousy, possessiveness, or constant monitoring. There's a persistent fear of losing the person, which leads to attempts to control their life, their friendships, and their time. It feels restrictive, like you're in a cage, even if it's a comfortable one. If you feel like you have to give up parts of yourself to keep the peace, that's a red flag for attachment. The second big difference is where your happiness actually comes from, you know? When you're in love, your happiness is enhanced by your partner, but it doesn't depend solely on them. You totally have your own sense of self-worth and your own little joys, right? Your partner adds to your life, making it richer and more beautiful, but if they were to leave, you would be heartbroken, yet you would eventually be okay because your core identity is intact. With attachment, your entire sense of happiness and self-worth is tied to the other person. They become your primary or even only source of validation. The thought of being without them is terrifying. Not just because you'd miss them, but because you feel like you'd be nothing without them. Your emotions become a roller coaster, completely dependent on their mood and their approval. That level of dependency is a classic sign of attachment. Let's talk about growth. This is a big one. Love is a catalyst for personal growth. A loving partner challenges you in a supportive way. They inspire you to be a better version of yourself. You feel safe to be vulnerable, to admit your weaknesses, and to work on them. Together, you evolve and grow, both as individuals and as a couple. You're building something together. Attachment, on the other hand, often stunts growth. Because it's based on fear and need, the primary goal is to maintain the status quo. Change is seen as a threat. You might find yourself or your partner discouraging new hobbies, new friendships, or career opportunities because it threatens the dynamic of the relationship. The focus is on keeping things the same, on not rocking the boat, which ultimately leads to stagnation for both people involved. Another area to consider is how you handle conflict. Every relationship has disagreements. That's normal. In a loving relationship, conflicts are opportunities to understand each other better. The goal is to find a resolution that works for both of you. You listen, you empathize, and you work as a team against the problem, not against each other. You can disagree and still feel secure in the relationship. In a relationship based on attachment, conflict is terrifying. It feels like a direct threat to the connection itself. Arguments are often about winning or proving a point, or they are avoided altogether out of fear that the other person will leave. There's a lot of blame, defensiveness, and a desperate need to be right, because being wrong feels like a threat to your value in the relationship. The focus is on self-preservation, not on mutual understanding. Now, let's think about the long-term perspective. Love is patient and has a long-term vision. It's not just about the intense feelings of the moment. It's about building a future, weathering storms together, and supporting each other through all of life's ups and downs. Love understands that feelings ebb and flow, but the underlying commitment and respect remain constant. Attachment is often very focused on the short term and the immediate gratification of needs. It's driven by a sense of urgency and anxiety. I need you now. There's a constant craving for reassurance and a fear that the feeling might disappear at any moment. This creates a lot of pressure and instability, because the relationship is built on a foundation of immediate emotional needs, rather than a shared vision for the future. So let's recap the key distinctions we've discussed. Love is about freedom, while attachment is about control. Love enhances your happiness, while attachment makes your happiness dependent on someone else. Love fosters growth, while attachment encourages stagnation. Love resolves conflict with empathy, while attachment sees conflict as a threat. And finally, love is long-term and patient, while attachment is short-term and demanding. It's really important to be honest with yourself when reflecting on your relationships. It can be painful to realize you're in an attachment-based dynamic, especially if you've mistaken it for love. But this realization is the first step towards healing and building healthier connections. It doesn't mean you or the other person are bad people. It often just means there are underlying insecurities or past wounds that are driving the behavior. If you recognize signs of attachment in your relationship, it doesn't automatically mean it's doomed. With awareness and effort from both people, it is possible to shift the dynamic towards a more loving one. This often involves working on your own self-esteem and learning to meet your own emotional needs. Therapy, both individual and couples, can be incredibly helpful in navigating this process. Learning to be happy on your own is the best foundation for being happy with someone else. Remember, true love should feel like coming home. It should be a safe harbor, not a battlefield. It should empower you, not diminish you. You deserve a love that celebrates you, supports your dreams, and gives you the freedom to be your most authentic self. Don't settle for the illusion of love that attachment provides. It might feel safe for a little while, but true freedom and true connection are so much more fulfilling. If you're struggling with these issues, please know you're not alone. Seeking support from a mental health professional can provide you with the tools to build the healthy, loving relationships you deserve. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I hope this video has given you some clarity and food for thought. If you found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content on relationships and personal growth. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What has been your experience with love versus attachment? Sharing your story might help someone else who's going through the same thing. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.